Have you guys renovated a home where you installed flooring and doors? Because we just did, and it was the most tedious part of this process by far, but super worth it. Kind of my fault, because look at the huge house. I didn't think it was gonna take that long and be that hard, but it was. It looks awesome though. Let's check it out. Now that we have all the flooring in the spaces where it's going to be installed, we have to let it sit there because the humidity in the house is different than outside or the warehouse, wherever it was coming from. So for it to sit in the space it's actually going to be installed, it needs to acclimate to the environment where it's going to be for the foreseeable future. So we need to let it sit here for at least a day, and then we're going to come back, we're going to install it all the way through so it'll actually match the rest of the house, and we'll be done with flooring on the first floor. One of the difficult parts of renovating such a large custom home is the product shortages and the time frames in which we can get certain products. For example, the flooring. This flooring was supposed to be here a month ago, and then the supplier calls us last week and says, hey, you know, actually due to XYZ reason, blame it on this, that, and the third, it's actually not going to be here for 6 months. Turns out we can't wait 6 months. So we had to spend a little bit more to get it from a local supplier. It's the same product, it's the same quality, it's just they were shipping it from, I don't know, like Canada or something. So we were able to actually source it locally. And sometimes you have to do what you gotta do because time is money, right? So if I'm waiting 6 months to install this, that's 6 months that we are waiting. We're paying the mortgage, we're doing all these other things that cost money. And then we're waiting on the flooring to do all these other things, so it just extends the product. So we have to sacrifice the money in order to get the product in quicker. And so that's what we did. We're able to get this product, we ordered it a week ago, we were able to get it delivered today. And now that we're unloading it, we can install it and keep this project moving really smoothly so that we can keep making progress. Something else we're learning is that the mosaic tile is so much more labor intensive than just laying like a 1 foot by 2 foot tile, because you're grouting each individual line. And if you can't tell, that's a lot of individual lines. Plus, whenever you're cutting it, you're having to make cuts through multiple tiles in that 1 by 1 square. So it's difficult to keep everything really square whenever you're laying it and whenever you're cutting it. But because we're flipping such a custom house, we have to do more elevated design choices. For example, this mosaic tile, because if we just do something basic, it's not going to stand out against the competition. It's not going to separate it from the other houses in this price range. And we need to give it that elevated design throughout the house. And one of the ways we can do that is in this master bathroom. May I remind you, we've got a marble fireplace in here. So a lot of those little touches just are going to be going together to create a really cohesive look. It's supposed to rain this whole week, which thankfully we don't have to do anything outside, but it makes the inside of the house so dark. So thankfully this week we've installed a lot of the electrical, so we can actually use the lights in the house and see what we're doing instead of just relying on the sun. So that actually, the timing on that worked out really well. This upstairs, we have all the lights in. Well, at least most of them, at least the can lights and the overhead lights. So when we're painting, when we're working up here, we can actually see what we're doing, which is really helpful. We've done a lot of like the electrical trim out. So all the switches and the receps have been completely replaced. And all the ceiling fans are in. So because all the electrical is finished, for the most part upstairs, we're able to continue work. Now, downstairs is a different story. Downstairs, we're still finishing trim, we're still finishing flooring, so we're not quite to the electrical. So let me show you what we're using for light downstairs. It looks like it's maybe 10 p.m. in here. It's actually 11 a.m. It's just so dark and dreary outside. So in order to continue working, we need lights. A lot of these are running out of battery, so we've actually had to go and buy some more extension cords to charge all of the machines that we have running. The saw and the nail guns and the lights and the camera and everything that we have. So, and like I said, upstairs all the electrical is finished, but downstairs it's not. So not all of the outlets actually work. So it's kind of like hit or miss. Whenever you plug something in, like you think it's gonna work, and then you plug it into the plug and it doesn't actually work. So there's only like 4 outlets down here that work, and we're just kind of like rotating through and just kind of running on fumes. But thankfully, since all the flooring is gonna be in down here and all the trim, the next thing that we need to do is do a lot of the electrical work. So we should be able to have functioning outlets next week, hypothetically, if everything goes according to plan, which it never does. That's what we're hoping for. You see us messing with this door a lot because we had to do a whole bunch of stuff around the door. Like, obviously you can see drywall, we had to retrim it all, but this week with floors and doors, you're seeing a ton of flooring because there's so much of it. But honestly, like, the doors are just as tedious because you install the door and then you have to like tweak it over and over and over until it's perfect. Otherwise it doesn't close. Maybe you're up here or it hits at the top. So I'm not showing a whole lot of it just because it's such little minor miscalculations that we're having to fix. But as you can see, they close. They open and close. The problem is that now that all the doors are installed, we actually have to take them off the hinges, paint them, and then put them back on. So a lot of this project feels like it's 1 step forwards, 2 steps back, but it is coming together. Just excited for everything to be done.
Take those.
Those shims stay in, like after.
So we go on top of this one.
It's like a campfire.
For like years and years and years.
I always done this.
1120.
Dude, you should have just left the door off if you had it on. I like setting it with the door on.
You set your jams with the door off?
I wouldn't if I would have had to take it off.
What?
But not normally.
I don't.
Now with these
I always just follow the reveal.
because the
Yes, exactly. I don't even use a level.
I don't ever-
Yep.
the
Dude.
inside being level is not how the door opens and closes.
You're not even
Tell
gonna
the
shim it?
truth. Yes.
That's first.
Too short.
Here's the sealer, frame underneath fire. I can't tell.
As you guys have probably noticed, a lot of this house is white. We've got white walls, white trim, white doors. A lot of that stuff is by design because we want the homeowner to come in and it be a blank slate for them. I don't know if they're going to want things green or purple or whatever color they want, but if they have it white, they're able to more easily add those character building touches. Additionally, they're going to put their own furniture in here, and their furniture is probably going to have their own color scheme. If I were to paint everything a certain color, now they feel like obligated that they have to get new furniture if it doesn't match, or they have to try to match the existing vibe. So if we give them a blank slate, they can bring their own furniture in, and they can make their own personality shine throughout the space. Now, all that to say, you don't want it to only be white. And so when you have elements like these built-in shelves, specifically in this bedroom, we added a touch of blue, and we're gonna actually paint this whole bedroom blue because this bedroom, it isn't the master, it's got some unique features to it. So by doing it blue, it's still kind of a neutral muted blue, and the homeowner can still make this space whatever they want. Maybe a kid's bedroom, maybe an office, maybe a rec room, whatever they want to do. It does give it a little bit of added personality and depth to the property while maintaining most of it being that white, muted, neutral color. Look at this. It's a good sign, means we're doing work, but we need to stop and just clean this thing up real fast because it's, we just have so much to move around and cords to walk over. Look at this right here. How many things is this charging at this time? 4? I mean, we got like a saw and a camera and I don't even know what else is charging. There's like snakes all over the ground and things just like hanging on the wall. So we probably need to take a second at the end of this day and clean everything up so we can get our minds clear and keep working.
A match?
Yeah, they're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, you should have it ready by tomorrow or Friday.
Sweet.
They're doing 2 different matches. They're doing one for oak and one for pine.
That's the recap of the progress of the most tedious week we've had to date with all the floors and the doors. And looking forward to next week, I'm now realizing we have to sand all those floors that we just installed. It's gonna be a long week. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you then. Peace.